is a type of medicine that trains your body to fight any foreign agents.
Plants are helpful for the ecosystem.
It's an electronic device for storing and processing data.
The nervous system is all the collection of nerves in your body.
Yeast is a eukaryote.
Welcome to Spectacular Science, where it's all about science, with your host, Akshay.
Hey listeners, welcome back to this episode of Spectacular Science. I'm your host, Akshay. Now, I've always been curious about snow. You know, it's just this fluffy white powder that falls to the ground, but it just falls from the sky, so we really don't know how it's formed. And have you ever heard that snowflakes are unique? Well, that's true, but how is every snowflake unique in its own way? And how do those shapes actually form? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about in this episode of Spectacular Science. So first of all, we need to know how snow forms. Snow occurs when water vapors in the air freeze before they can turn into water. This happens when the temperature in the clouds is very cold. Snowflakes are made up of crystals of ice that have formed around bits of dirt in the air. The snowflakes start out very small and grow and grow and grow. Each snowflake is different and may contain over 200 crystals. And as those crystals get heavier and heavier and heavier, they start to fall down to earth as snow. And these crystals can grow because the humidity or how humid or how much air, how much water there is in the air around it is very high. That means that water will stick to it and freeze and eventually make the snowflake bigger and bigger and bigger. It can also happen when frozen parts of water clash around in the clouds, and that creates bigger and bigger snowflakes. Now, snow is very different from sleet and hail. Hail is when water freezes on its way down to earth. So when that happens, it just forms these ice balls, which are very heavy but are not snow. And sleet is just a mix between rain and snow, and that happens when the water partially freezes, and it freezes while hitting the ground, and that is what sleet is. But that is not the puffy white snow that we all like to play in, including me. Now that we know how snowflakes are formed, it's time to figure out how snowflakes get their different shapes. Well, the shapes of snowflakes are influenced by the temperatures and humidity of the atmosphere. Snowflakes form in the atmosphere when cold water droplets freeze into dust particles, as we learned before. Depending on the temperature and the humidity of the air where the crystals form, the resulting ice crystals will grow into different shapes. And these shapes are all influenced by all these factors, such as temperature, humidity, and even how much dust it actually sticks to and how many ice crystals there are. Now, to make sense of this, we have to zoom into the molecular level of water. Molecules are the tiny bonds of atoms that make up almost everything, including water, me, and almost wood and air. Air has molecules too. Now let's zoom in on these water molecules. When you zoom in, you see 3 atoms. 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. That's why the formula for water is H2O. 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. And that is the chemical formula for water. Now, if we look at this, the water molecules like to arrange into a shape that has 6 sides, or a hexagon. So, here's another fun fact. All snowflakes are hexagons, or they're 6-sided. When a snowflake first forms, they always have 6 sides, and that center of that snowflake is always a hexagon. That is one thing that never changes from snowflake to snowflake. They're all 6-sided shapes, or hexagons. And out of those hexagons, those branches can branch out and create a variety of shapes. Not just the ones that you see when you cut out snowflakes out of paper, but so many other irregular shapes, such as these flat rods. And they don't all have to branch out in all directions. Some of them can just be hexagons, like the hexagons that you see in math class. So snowflakes really can be so many shapes. And the reason every single snowflake is unique is because every single snowflake is blown around and exposed to different types of climates and even different types of conditions. And those conditions can vary, like the humidity can vary or the temperature can vary. And as that happens, these snowflakes start to form and differ one another. And that's what makes snowflakes so unique. All of these are exposed to different conditions, which helps them grow or shrinks them, which makes every single snowflake that you see all the time unique. And it's just amazing to think about that there are millions of snowflakes in just one yard, and every single one of those tiny little snowflakes are unique, and those snow crystals inside of those snowflakes are all unique. And snow is just a work of art by nature, because every single piece of it is unique, and how it forms is unique. Wow, I'm saying the word unique a lot. Now, here is how scientists discovered it. Some scientists put snowflakes under the microscope, collected so many samples, and they figured out that every single snowflake has this kind of molecular structure or a crystal structure that is a hexagon. And those hexagons can be so many different shapes. So whenever it snows, think of all of these tiny little snowflakes making your snowy day the best day ever. And I know that I love playing in the snow. Now, it's actually snowing outside. Wow, look at all those snowflakes. Uh-oh, I have to go right now before the snow all melts. Let's just hope it sticks to the ground. Now, before I go, what did we learn today? We learned that snow is formed when water vapor attaches to dust particles or dirt particles in the atmosphere and creates ice crystals. Those snow crystals clump together to form bigger snow crystals. Eventually, they turn into snowflakes. And those snowflakes fall to the ground because they're too heavy to stay up in the air. And they do stay up in the air because of updrafts or large currents of wind that are pushing up, making those ice crystals and all of those snowflakes and snow stay in the atmosphere until they get too heavy. And snowflakes form to so many different shapes because they're all exposed to different conditions when they form. And when they fall down, those branches branch out, creating so many different shapes. But they do have one rule. All snowflakes are hexagons, because that is the most efficient way water can bond together, and it all goes down to the molecular structure of the water, or the molecules, which are bonds of atoms that are so tiny you need a microscope to see them. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Spectacular Science. Spectacular Science is produced and hosted by me, Akshay. Our theme song is by Charan Ramachandran. Special thanks to Varun Ramachandran. Please visit my website, spectacularsci.com, to find interactive activities, articles, blog posts, and all of our episodes. That's spectacularsci.com. Please sign up for the Spectacular Science membership, where you can get bonus episodes, activities, and the fact of the day, which is a fun science fact every day. Sign up at spectacularsci.com/membership. That's spectacularsci.com/membership. Please subscribe or follow Spectacular Science on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. By following, you'll get all of the episodes automatically and get notified when new episodes are available. Please follow on any of these platforms. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of Spectacular Science. Now, to play in the snow. What should I make? Should I make a snowman? Oh, I should go skiing. Well, I don't think there's a lot of snow for that. Oh, maybe I should go snowboarding. That'll be so fun.